The Senate chamber of the Valorith Dominion rang with laughter. On the polished obsidian floors, beneath banners of 1,000 conquered worlds, delegates sat in glittering robes, sipping nectar while mocking a tale dredged up from a forgotten archive. Humans, one of them sneered, mandibles clacking. An extinct curiosity, myths told to hatchlings to explain ghost signals. Another leaned back in his chair, frills pulsing with amusement. They were said to build ships so large they could blot out suns. Absurd. No flesh-born species could ever craft such things. Records of Terrans appeared only in the margins of collapsed empires' histories, whispers of fire, fleets, and a single name: humanity. To the Dominion, they were nothing but dust on forgotten scrolls. The chamber erupted again, laughter swelling. To them, legends were safe, legends were harmless, legends could never walk through their gates. The disturbance at the edge of empire. 3 cycles later, the Dominion's Deepwatch array caught something unusual. At first, it was only static, a faint resonance, a low hum bleeding through hyperspace like a distant heartbeat. Technicians dismissed it as noise until the hum sharpened into a signal no algorithm could decrypt. Commanders of the Dominion fleet convened with amused disinterest. A ghost, one said, a malfunction, perhaps pirates with a salvaged beacon. But the technicians trembled as the signal repeated, structured and deliberate. Ancient linguistics programs tried to parse it, and in the silence of the control deck, one archivist whispered, pale tendrils curling in fear. It matches the Terran code from the old myths. The commander scoffed, waving him away. Fairy tales, you insult this council with nonsense. And yet the hum grew louder. The shadow that should not exist. The first ship to investigate was the Dominion cruiser Valus. Its captain, confident and arrogant, ordered full transmission. Unknown vessel, you trespass in Dominion space. Identify yourself. The response was silence. Then came a distortion on the stars, like ink spreading in water. Space itself rippled. A hull emerged, vast and angular, blacker than void, etched with lines of dull silver. No transponder, no registry, just presence. The Dominion crew froze. Their scanners returned madness. Dimensions that didn't align, power readings off every scale, mass signatures impossible to reconcile. It was not a fleet. It was not an armada. It was just one ship. The Valus locked targeting arrays, its captain snarling. Legends are smoke, fire upon it. Missiles streaked across void. Energy lances burned bright. They struck the shadow. And vanished. The warship did not shudder. It did not move. It simply existed unbothered. That was the moment the Dominion began to doubt. The name revealed. Across the Dominion, whispers spread like wildfire. A single warship had appeared, untouchable, unstoppable, fleets diverted, systems braced. In desperation, archivists tore through sealed vaults, searching for any precedent. They found scraps of fractured testimony from dead civilizations. One human warship erased a fleet of 500. They spoke through thunder and vanished into night. Beware the Terran dreadnoughts, death made metal. The signals from the vessel finally shifted, broadcasting one phrase, in a language thought extinct. UNSC Leviathan, humanity still stands. Silence followed, then fear. The name humanity left every counselor cold. That was the moment the Dominion stopped laughing. The clash that rewrote memory. The Dominion responded with fury. They mustered fleets, dreadnoughts bristling with cannons, carriers unleashing endless swarms, destroyers aligned in perfect formation. the largest battle array in living memory. They encircled the warship, confident that even a myth could drown beneath numbers. The human vessel finally moved, slowly, deliberately, like a predator that had allowed its prey to believe in escape. A single broadside erupted, no beam, no missile, but a storm of kinetic fury. The soundless void roared in the minds of every witness as ships shattered like glass. Carriers split open, cruisers crumpled, entire wings of fighters vanished in fire. The Dominion's proud armada was not defeated, it was erased. The humans did not taunt. They did not boast. The warship drifted forward in silence, its weapons cycling with terrifying patience, its presence an unspoken verdict. The myths were mercy, reality was worse. Across the galaxy, every species watching knew that the balance of power, the arrogance of empires, had been rewritten in a single engagement. Aftermath, the whisper of legends. When the smoke cleared, there was no negotiation, no demands. The warship simply lingered at the edge of the Dominion's shattered border, its silhouette like a scar across the stars. The surviving Dominion commanders sent frantic transmissions, but the warship offered no answer. Only the echo of its declaration remained. Humanity still stands. Worlds that had mocked the old stories fell into silence. The Senate that had laughed choked on fear. Myths were not safe. Myths were not harmless. One warship, one legend had been enough to prove truth. And now, every empire lay awake at night, haunted by a single whisper moving across trade routes, spoken in fear and awe alike. The humans are real. The Council of Skeptics. In the grand halls of the Veyer Dominion, beneath vaulted ceilings of crystal and gold, the High Council gathered. 1,000 banners of conquered worlds hung heavy in the chamber, reminders of their strength. Admirals in polished armor leaned back in their thrones, their voices rich with arrogance as they mocked the latest chatter spreading through the lesser empires. Humans, one sneered, his crest of feathers shimmering with contempt. Fairy tales told to frighten hatchlings. Another laughed, his claws tapping against the arm of his chair. The archivists speak of them as if they were gods, beings of fire and iron who burned their way across the void. And yet, not a single verified sighting in 10,000 cycles. Ghosts, nothing more. The assembly roared with amusement. Humans were a joke, a story to entertain scholars and storytellers. In the Dominion's war academies, cadets whispered the name as a dare, a way to test courage in the dark. Legends told of ships carved from living steel, of fleets that defied annihilation, of a people who refused extinction. But legends were nothing compared to the Dominion's empire, which had stood unbroken for millennia. To them, humanity was an absurdity, a myth long buried. And myths could not bleed. The signal in the void. 3 cycles later, a Dominion listening post at the edge of uncharted space reported something unusual. A signal. It wasn't noise, nor the usual background hum of pulsars. It was structured, deliberate, a ghost whisper traveling through subspace like an echo from forgotten time. At first, the overseers dismissed it. Faulty equipment, a flare in the system. But the signal repeated, steady as a heartbeat, impossible to ignore. The data streamed upward through channels of command, until it reached the Admiralty itself. The Council reviewed the recording in silence. A single identifier pulsed within the signal, UNS Retribution. The hall erupted with laughter. A myth reborn, one admiral mocked. What's next? The gods of creation walking among us. But for all their laughter, none could deny the unease that rippled through the room. UNS, United Nations ship. That designation belonged not to any current empire but to humanity, a name etched in half-remembered histories dismissed as superstition. The Dominion dispatched a fleet, 20 ships, sleek and deadly, armed with weapons that had conquered dozens of civilizations. They moved into the uncharted sector with the casual arrogance of predators certain of their dominance.